So, here's the deal, buddy. You know how some folks think open relationships are the bee's knees? Well, that was me, thinking I'm all modern and enlightened. My wife and we've been together a good chunk of years, and I thought, hey, why not spice things up a bit? So one night, over a couple of beers, I pitched this idea to her. Open relationship, you know? I gotta say, she looked at me like I'd grown another head. But after a lot of talking, and I mean a lot, she kinda warmed up to it. The rule was simple, complete honesty. No secrets, no lies. Everything out in the open. You see someone you like, you tell me first, I said. Same goes for me. Sounded easy enough, right? So, we shook on it, like we were sealing some kind of business deal. Little did I know, this was gonna be one hell of a ride. I mean, I thought we had everything figured out. You know, who we could see, how often, all that jazz. Just a bit of fun, I said, nothing serious. Famous last words, huh? In my head, it was all crystal clear. We were solid, our little adventure wasn't gonna change that. I mean, we'd been through thick and thin, and this was just another thing, right? A bit of excitement, a way to explore, but at the end of the day, we were each other's home base. But man, I had no clue what was coming. It's like opening Pandora's box and finding out it's full of dynamite. And let me tell you, when things started to unravel, it hit me like a ton of bricks. But that's a story for another day. For now, let's just say, this open proposal of mine? It was the beginning of a wild, wild ride. Alright, so here's where things start getting twisty. Remember the whole open relationship spiel? Yeah, well, it took a turn. So, there I was, thinking we're just having a bit of fun, nothing serious. But then, out of nowhere, I notice something's off with my wife. She's, I dunno, distracted? Smiling at her phone more than usual. At first, I'm like, okay, maybe she's just enjoying this new freedom thing. But then, one day, I see this message pop up on her phone. Some guy's name I've never heard before. And the message, man, it wasn't just some casual chat. It was flirty, you know, with all those little heart emojis and stuff. Now, I'm not the jealous type, but this hit me weird. I mean, we agreed on honesty, right? So, I confront her. Who's this guy? I ask. She brushes it off, says it's just some dude she met, nothing serious. But, man, I can tell. There's something more. So, I start piecing things together. She's going out more, always dressing up, guarding her phone like it's Fort Knox. And this guy, she never mentions him. It's like she's living a double life. And there I am, feeling like a chump. I mean, we talked about seeing other people, but this? This was different. It felt sneaky, like she's got a crush on this guy and didn't want me to know. That stung, man. It wasn't just about the other guy. It was the secrecy, the lying by omission. It's like, one minute we're this adventurous couple, and the next, I'm in some daytime soap opera. Betrayal? Confusion? Check and check. I didn't sign up for this. I thought we were in it together, but suddenly, it's like I'm on the outside looking in. And that's when I knew, this open relationship thing was about to get a whole lot more complicated. Little did I know, that was just the tip of the iceberg. Okay, so where were we? Yes, the plot thickens. So, I'm starting to get these vibes that something's up with my wife, right? And not just a fling or a crush, but something more. Call it intuition or whatever, but I knew I had to dig deeper. One evening, she's out, probably with him, though she said it was a girls' night. I stumble upon her laptop, open and unguarded. Not my proudest moment, but hey, desperate times. I find their chat, and man, it's not just flirty texts, it's full-on lovey-dovey stuff. They're talking like teenagers in love, not like two adults in a casual thing. And this guy, let me paint you a picture, he's old enough to be her dad, seriously. But he's got this fancy job, wears suits that cost more than my car, you know the type. She's always had a thing for the high-flyer types. So, they're planning dinners, secret meetups, and all that jazz. It's like a friggin' romance novel, but I'm the guy left holding the bag. I'm sitting there, reading these messages, feeling like I've been punched in the gut. It's one thing to see other people, but this? It's like a full-blown affair, man. She's into this guy, and not just in a, let's have some fun, way. It's deeper, and she's not saying a word to me about it. I start thinking about all our conversations, all the times she reassured me it was just casual. And I'm like, was any of it real? How long has she been sneaking around, telling this guy things she used to tell me? And why this guy, with his fancy job and expensive taste? What's he got that I don't? That night, I couldn't sleep a wink. It wasn't just the betrayal, it was the secrecy, the lies. Our open relationship was supposed to be fun, adventurous. But now, it felt like a bad joke, and I was the punchline. So, there I was, trying to piece together the fragments of my marriage, wondering where the hell we go from here. Alright, so after discovering all that jazz about the affair, I'm boiling over, right? I decide it's time for a showdown. No more tiptoeing around. I wait for her to come home, and as soon as she walks through the door, it's like, we need to talk. She knows something's up, I can see it in her eyes. So, I lay it all out. The messages, the secret meetups, the whole 9 yards. And you know what? She doesn't even deny it. Instead, she hits me with this curveball. She says it's my fault. Yeah, my fault for suggesting this open relationship thing in the first place. I'm there, trying to wrap my head around this logic. But the honesty, the rules we set? I ask. She shrugs, says something about getting carried away, that she didn't plan for it to happen. But the way she talks about this guy, man, it's like I'm not even in the picture anymore. Then she drops the bomb, she's thinking of divorce. Says maybe we're not cut out for each other if I could push her into someone else's arms. I'm standing there, feeling like I just got hit by a truck. I mean, sure, the open relationship was my idea, but this? This was all her. The room's spinning with accusations and justifications. She's weaving this web of lies, making it sound like she's the victim in all this. And I'm trying to make sense of it all, but it's like trying to grab onto smoke. It's a mess, man. She's talking about how she lost herself in the relationship, how she needed something more. And I'm there, thinking, what about me? What about us? But it's like we're speaking different languages. That night, we both go to bed angry, worlds apart. And I'm lying there, wondering if this is really how it all ends, not with a bang, but with a web of lies and a broken promise. Man, where do I even start with this mess? After that blow up about the affair, things between me and the missus are colder than a polar bear's toenails. I'm feeling this gap between us, like we're on different planets. She's always been a bit of a complainer, sure, but now it's like nothing I do is right. I start noticing all these little things, you know? Like the age difference, she's 6 years older, and it never bugged me before. But now, it's like this giant elephant in the room. I can't shake the feeling that maybe we're at different stages in life. And about that truth-seeking mission of mine, talk about a backfire. I thought playing detective, getting to the bottom of her affair would help, but it just made things worse. One time, I even grabbed her phone while she was showering, pretending to be her and texting that guy. Yeah, I know, not my brightest moment. Wanted to see if he'd spill about their, intimate details. But guess what? She catches me, red-handed. The look on her face, man, it's like I just kicked her dog or something. She's furious, says I'm invading her privacy, that I'm obsessed. Maybe I was, but damn, I just wanted the truth. Now we're in this weird limbo. We talk, but it's like walking on eggshells. No real connection, just coexisting. I'm starting to wonder if there's any point in trying to fix things. Like, do I even want to be in a relationship where I have to snoop around to know what's going on? It's a tangle of emotions, dude. I'm angry, hurt, confused, you name it. And the more I think about it, the more I realize how far apart we've drifted. It's not just about the affair anymore, it's everything. The complaints, the lack of trust, the feeling that we're just not on the same page. Lying in bed at night, I keep wondering, where did we go wrong? Was it the open relationship, or were we already broken before that? It's like trying to solve a puzzle with half the pieces missing. Dear readers, I hope you're as hooked on this journey as I was living it. Before we dive into the next chapter of this rollercoaster story, I've got a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying this tale of love, adventure, and unexpected twists, how about showing some love? Hit that like button to let me know you're on board. It's a simple click for you, but it means the world to me. It's like a virtual high five, telling me to keep the stories coming. And hey, why stop there? Go ahead and hit subscribe too. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming up next. Subscribing will keep you in the loop, so you're always the first to know when a new chapter drops. Plus, it's a great way to support this storyteller on his quest to keep you entertained. So, take a quick second to like and subscribe. Done? Awesome. Now, buckle up and let's jump back into the story. The next chapter's waiting, and trust me, you don't want to miss a beat of what's coming up next. So, here's the latest in the saga of me and my not-so-better half. Things have been rocky, to say the least. And just when I think it can't get more twisted, she hits me with an ultimatum. Out of the blue, she's like, I'm done with this open relationship thing. It's over. I'm sitting there, thinking, okay, maybe this is good, right? A fresh start. But nope, there's a catch. She's cutting me off, too. No more intimacy, she says. I'm like, what, so we're just roommates now? And she's dead serious about it, saying she needs space, needs to think things over. Man, it's like a slap in the face. I get that things have been messed up, but this? It's like she's punishing me for the whole mess. And I'm there, wondering if I even want to stick around in this loveless marriage. But then, there's this part of me that's like, maybe she's got a point. Maybe we do need a break. But here's the kicker, she still doesn't want me seeing other people. Says it's different now, that we need to work on us. And I'm like, what us? There's no us if you're shutting me out. It's a mind bender, dude. So, there I am, stuck between a rock and a hard place. Do I play along with her new rules, give her the space and hope things get better? Or do I call her bluff, say enough is enough and move on? It's a tough call, man. It's not just about the sex or seeing other people. It's deeper than that. It's about feeling wanted, feeling connected. And right now, I'm not feeling any of that. I'm just feeling trapped, confused, and a bit lost, to be honest. I never thought it would come to this. You open one door, thinking it's going to lead somewhere exciting, and it ends up being a one-way trip to a dead end. So, what's my next move? Stick it out or walk away? Man, I wish I had the answer. Alright, so here I am in Budapest, of all places. Thought I'd take a breather from all the drama back home, clear my head a bit. But man, it's like I can't catch a break. Every time I try to enjoy the sights, my phone buzzes with another call from her. And let me tell you, they ain't happy calls. She's on the other end, sounding like a kettle about to blow. Accusations, demands, you name it. It's like she can't stand the thought of me being away and possibly having a good time. So much for space, huh? And then there's our kid, our little guy. He's the real deal in all this mess. I'm out here, trying to figure out my life, and back home, he's probably wondering why dad's gone. Breaks my heart, thinking about it. If we split up, what's gonna happen to him? I don't want him growing up in some broken home, shuffled between two parents who can't stand each other. I'm strolling around this beautiful city, but my mind's back there, with my son. I'm thinking, what kind of example am I setting for him? It's one thing to screw up your own life, but it's another when a little guy's caught in the crossfire. Every time she calls, it's like a reminder of the mess I left behind. I'm trying to piece together what my next move should be, but it's tough. Do I fight for this marriage for our son Sake, or do I call it quits and hope we can all find some happiness separately? Budapest is supposed to be this great escape, but it feels more like I'm trapped in my own head. The city's alive with history and life, and here I am, stuck in my own personal soap opera. I spend the nights in some local bars, trying to drown out the noise in my head. But it doesn't work. The laughter and chatter around me just sound like a distant echo. My phone's there, silent now, but it feels like a ticking time bomb, ready to pull me back into the chaos. So yeah, Budapest blues, that's what I've got. A beautiful city, a broken heart, and a mind full of questions with no easy answers. So, we're back from Budapest, and guess what? We're in counseling now. Yeah, you heard it right. Me and her, trying to sort through this dumpster fire of a marriage. Every session, we sit there, spilling our guts to some therapist who nods like she's seen it all before. I gotta say, it's weird. We're there, talking about our feelings, our failed open relationship experiment, the affair, the whole shebang. But it's like we're just going in circles. She's still mad about me snooping around, and I'm still burned about her lying. It's like we're speaking, but no one's really listening. And here's the kicker, I'm starting to question everything. Like, should I even be thinking about other relationships right now? Or should I be all in, trying to fix this mess with her? Half of me thinks, man, life's too short for this drama. But the other half wonders if I owe it to us, to our history, to try harder. The sessions end, and we're no closer to a solution. We go home, and it's like we're just coexisting under the same roof. It's tense, awkward, and kind of sad, really. We used to be this team, you know? Now, we're like two strangers with a shared past. Sometimes, I think maybe we're just delaying the inevitable. But then, I see these glimpses of the woman I married, the laughs, the inside jokes, and I think, damn, is there still something worth saving here? But every time I think about stepping out, seeing someone else, I feel this guilt. Like, am I just being a coward, looking for the easy way out? Or am I just trying to find some happiness in this mess? It's a mind bender, man. Counseling's supposed to help, but it feels more like it's holding up a mirror to all our problems. And let me tell you, it's not a pretty reflection. So, there I am, stuck between what I want, what she wants, and what's best for both of us. It's like being in a boxing ring, but you don't know who you're fighting, her, myself, or the whole damn situation. Man, if I thought things were messed up before, I had no idea. So, here's the deal, we hit what you might call the mother of all confrontations. It was like a dam bursting, all the pent-up stuff just flooding out. We're at home, and something just snaps. Maybe it's the strain from the counseling, the unresolved feelings, or just being sick of the whole situation. But we go at it, and it's not pretty. Everything comes out. The affair, the lies, my snooping, the whole screwed-up idea of the open relationship. I'm yelling about how she betrayed me, and she's throwing it right back, saying I pushed her into it. It's like we're seeing the worst in each other, all the ugly stuff we've been trying to ignore. And that's when it hits me. This whole open relationship thing was a huge mistake. Like, colossal. I thought it would be fun, exciting, but all it did was tear us apart. Made us question everything about us, about our love. In the heat of the argument, I can see it all so clearly. The betrayal wasn't just about her and that guy. It was about us losing sight of what we had. We were so busy looking elsewhere for something new, something thrilling, that we forgot to cherish what was right in front of us. The confrontation winds down, but the damage is done. We're both exhausted, emotionally drained. It's like we've laid everything bare, and what's left is this raw, painful truth. I'm sitting there, in the aftermath, and I can't help but think, where do we go from here? Is there even a we anymore? It feels like we've crossed a line, and I don't know if we can ever go back. That night, I'm lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, and it's like I'm seeing my whole marriage flash before my eyes. The good times, the bad, and everything in between. And I'm left wondering if we've reached the end of the road, if this breaking point is really just the beginning of the end. So, you won't believe how this whole saga turns out. After all the drama, the fights, and the heartache, there comes this twist straight out of a soap opera. My wife's affair? Yeah, it goes sideways, big time. Turns out, Mr. High and Mighty, her lover, wasn't the Prince Charming she thought he was. The guy gets caught up in some scandal, shady deals, bad news all around. And she's right there with him, caught in the crossfire. Her world crumbles, and suddenly, she's left with nothing. No fancy guy, no high life, nothing. And me? I'm watching all this unfold like a bystander. Part of me feels sorry for her, but another part, well, it's like a wake-up call. This whole mess, it's been a journey, man. Made me rethink everything. Love, trust, what it means to be committed. I see her struggling, trying to pick up the pieces of her life, and it dawns on me. We're both just human, you know? We make mistakes, get lost, but maybe there's a chance to find our way back. Not necessarily to each other, but to ourselves. All the anger, the resentment, it starts to fade. I'm left with this sense of, what's the word? Clarity, maybe. I realized that this whole open relationship thing, it wasn't us. We got caught up in something that took us away from what really mattered. And as for me, it's like I've come full circle. I'm back to square one, but with a whole lot of lessons learned. I'm thinking about my son, about being the best dad I can be, regardless of what happens with me and her. It's a strange feeling, watching someone you once loved lose it all. It makes you reflect on what's important, what's worth holding on to. And I guess, in a weird way, I'm grateful for the whole experience. Taught me a lot about life, love, and the choices we make. So, there it is, the end of a chapter, but maybe the start of something new for me. A chance to rebuild, to do things differently. Life's funny like that, huh? Just when you think you've got it figured out, it throws you a curve.